Welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another series review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Season 2 of Goblin Slayer. So we're back at it again with Goblin Slayer and the rest of the crew. I am really happy that season 2 came out. I generally was happy with the overall plot of season 2 of Goblin Slayer. You know, it comes off the tail end of a movie, so it's kind of alright. Interesting, because a lot of people it's interesting that a lot of shows have been doing this weird gap between seasons, sometimes filling in it with a movie or making a movie arc and then splitting it up 2 seasons. But I'm glad that at least far as Goblin Slayer, what it got was a movie, then led into season 2. And at least the film, on a side tangent, is a very enjoyable film. I think splitting that up into arcs for you get 3-4 episodes most, but I think of one film going into here, good. But let's get back onto season 2. Season 2, in my just general opinion, is a lot of multi-character development. It's a lot less. It's a lot less about the actual adventure, the outside world. There, not to say that there isn't any overarching world thing, but I always felt, as far as Goblin Slayer is concerned, I like the feel of getting to know the characters, and I think this season did a really fine job emphasizing not only Goblin Slayer but the rest of the team. You got a good arc in the beginning, dealing with the priestess, because you get a little bit of her in season 1, but continuing on, emphasizing a little bit more with her journey as an adventurer, because you got to remember, it as far as the world time is concerned, it's a very short amount of time that we've seen these adventurers together, and yeah, it's interesting to see the journey that she's been going through along the way. On top of that, some of the little arcs they did for this season, you kind of had, not too major spoilers, a wedding arc. You got some major demon arc, and like I mentioned earlier, there is an overworld arc that's happening outside of Goblin Slayer. And I like that they're doing hints of it here and there, but I like it when it's just them. Their inner workings, their little day-to-days, and kind of what they're handling, and all the other individuals around them. Like I said, you get a little bit more of some of the other side characters of the dwarf, the lizard man, the elf, and I like what they're doing with them. I wish we learned they expanded a little bit more on some of the characters, but if this continues on with a 3rd season, I'll be happy. I would be happy. Besides that, it's generally interesting to see some new characters that are thrown in through the mix to kind of throw a wrench into the story. The pacing of the show itself, I felt it worked well. like if anyone who is this is your first time listening, what I do is normally like go for a 3-episode binge. So I kind of I skip a few weeks and then watch them in binge shows or binge episodes to kind of avoid some of these, what is it, oh my god, cliffhanger tropes. And I felt as far as this show, there are a couple of cliffhangers, but there are moments when arcs are complete that it flows reasonably well. And for this 12-episode series, I think it works well, fine. There wasn't anything major that I did not feel that like, oh my god, I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm like, I need to wait. There are a couple, but I'm glad that the way I watch it, and now that the season's all done, you don't have to worry about it. You can binge the entire thing. As far as like the animation, once again, they did a fine job. It's still like fantastic to look at. Really good, really well done. And who was it that was working on this? Linden Films? Was it Linden Films? Was it really them? Yeah, it was. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I remember White Fox was season 1. Oh, Linden Films took over. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't really notice anything different, like any real big changes as far as the art style or the animation. They did a good job keeping the same flow and like feel of the show. So yeah, even though it changed studios, it looks like it. I personally didn't notice any big thing as far as the production value of the show. The audio was well done. The voice acting, once again, good. Like there was nothing I felt was like underwhelming. It like I said, it's for the most part, it's a bit more mature show, so I'm glad that they kept with it. They did not pull back on any of the content that, as far as the world is concerned, because it's really showcasing that, yeah, this is a pretty harsh world to live in. There are moments of levity and fun and joy, but not to forget that the world around you is ready to like hit you. And I'm glad that they kept that. Besides that, you got Goblin Slayer killing goblins in such a like great way. I wish there was a little bit more, like there's in season 1 you had these moments, even in the film you get like moments of Goblin Slayer just being like amazing, and it's just like what's the best way I can say, like brutally gorgeous. I think that's one of the best way I can describe it, where he's just like in the moment, in the zone. And I didn't feel this season had it. That's my only real negative as far as season 2. There was not that moment. But I think that's fine, because the way they kind of threw the arc of Goblin Slayer himself and just kind of expanding on him, I felt that they did that kind of like relaxed it a little bit, giving him more of a human feel, because he's very withdrawn. And I'm glad what they were doing with him. I'm definitely hoping for a season 3, but if there isn't, I think in my opinion, the way it kind of ended, it's fine. I enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, I like that. But I definitely want to see more of it. I know the stories, at least as far as the light novel and the manga, are still continuing on, in as far as I know. But I'm looking forward to seeing what else is it, because yeah, seeing Goblin Slayer, the priestess, high elf archer, the Druid shaman, or the, oh my god, why can't I remember the lizardmans? But yeah, having these guys come back will be fun to see. Let me know your thoughts as far as season 2 of Goblin Slayer, and leave a comment down below if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, or if you're listening to this on any other podcast platform, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X/Twitter. Yeah, any of those platforms, it would be very appreciative. But yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Yeah. So thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time. See ya.